training program. Today we are honored to have Dr. Sajad with us. He is a food safety officer in J&K Food and Drug Control Department. His insights have had a significant impact in the food safety. Without further ado, let's welcome Dr. Sajad to share his valuable perspective with us. He will be speaking on the topic foodborne illness outbreak investigations, tracing the source of foodborne illness. Sir, please can we have you on the stage?
Actually, foodborne illness are caused due to the ingestion of the contaminated food, containing toxins, whether microbiological or toxic chemicals. These foodborne illnesses are major threat to both public health and development of the nations. Worldwide, foodborne illnesses are increasing because of various reasons. Suppose changing trends in food processing or food production, like increase the practice of conventional farming, increase in novel processing technology or advanced processing technology, or distribution. In foodborne outbreak, what is foodborne outbreak? Foodborne outbreak is when two or more people get the same illness from the same contaminated food or drink. That is called foodborne illness. Or observe number of cases of a particular illness that may be foodborne exceeds the numbers in the population in a given area. Recent data regarding foodborne illness, as per World Health Organization, estimates that 1 in 10 people in the world fall ill after consuming contaminated food. 1 in 10 people. If 10 people consume contaminated food, at least one gets ill. Foodborne illness worldwide leading to 600 million cases till date and 4,20,000 deaths per year. Children are more vulnerable to foodborne diseases. Among the ill cases, 40% are children below 5 years of age, and more than 200 diseases are caused by eating contaminated food, because contaminated food contains either it contains microbiological pathogens, or it may contain chemical pathogens like heavy metals, or it may contain pesticide residues, or it may contain drug residues. Foodborne illnesses are due to microorganic chemical contaminants which may occur naturally or be introduced at some point along the food chain from farm to fork, food production, food processing, or during shipment or during distribution of the food or sale of the food, and at the time of consumption. Classification of foodborne outbreaks. Foodborne outbreaks are classified into two types. Number one is point source outbreak. Point source outbreak is caused at any event, or suppose for any event or festival. These are localized. These are small in nature, and these are point source outbreaks are easy to investigate. Number second is community-wide outbreaks. Community-wide outbreaks are caused at state level or regional level or multi-state level. They are challenging to investigate because various stakeholders are involved in the community-wide outbreaks. For example, regional outbreak. Suppose contaminated meat is distributed to different regions in the state. That can cause regional outbreak. Or if the contaminated food or any contaminated product from a farm is distributed to different states, that can lead to the statewide outbreak. Causative agents in foodborne illnesses. What are the causative agents in foodborne which can cause foodborne illness? These are three types: foodborne infections, food intoxication, and toxico-infections. Foodborne infections are those in which live microbes enter into the body through the ingestion of the contaminated food. If we consume contaminated food that contains live microorganisms, that may lead to foodborne infection. It is further subdivided into two classes. Number one is in which food only acts as the carrier of the microbes. Food acts only as the carrier of the microbes. For example, infectious hepatitis, cholera, brucellosis, typhoid fever. In these cases, food only acts as the carrier of the microbes. Because of food, suppose sick persons are working in the food establishment. They carry contagious microbes that can lead to the foodborne infection. Number second is in which food acts as both medium for the growth of microbes as well as carrier of the microbes. For example, in case of salmonellosis, because of salmonella, or enteropathogenic Escherichia coli infection, these are the infections in which food acts as both carrier of the pathogen as well as growth medium. Number second, foodborne intoxications. Foodborne intoxications are caused due to the ingestion of the toxicants that may be chemical or biological toxicants. For example, in case of botulism, neurotoxin is produced by Clostridium botulinum. Or staphylococcal intoxication. Staphylococcal enterotoxin is produced by the staphylococcal areas. These toxins are produced in the food. After that, suppose if we apply heat treatment, if we give heat treatment to the food, toxins are already produced in the food. So, intoxication can be most prevalent. Intoxication can occur because toxins are already produced in the food product. So, there is no purpose of heating the food product or sterilize because toxins are already produced in the food product. Number second, mycotoxins. For example, aflatoxin, pathogen, ochratoxin. These are also produced by some fungus strains. Third is chemicals, such as sanitizing products. In food establishments, sanitizers are routinely used. They are routinely used for sterilization of the food contact surfaces. If they are not washed properly, that can lead to the food intoxication. Or heavy metals like lead, mercury, cadmium, pesticides. If utensils are used in the pest, suppose they carry pesticides, if they are not properly washed, it can lead to the intoxication or seafood toxins. Number third is toxico-infection. In case of toxico-infection, food contains microbes, and microbes enter into the body. In the GI tract, they produce toxins. That is called toxico-infection. That is, intoxication is due to toxins, but toxins are produced in the intestinal tract. Like Clostridium perfringens or Bacillus cereus, Clostridium perfringens produce toxins during sporulation in the intestinal tract. Or Bacillus cereus produce toxins during lysis of the cells. They are called food toxico-infections. Next, impact of foodborne disease outbreaks. Impact क्या है? Negative impacts क्या है? Individual we suffer the food illness. उन पे कौन सा impact है? Food business establishment पे कौन सा impact है? So in case of individual, loss of family income due to various expenses, medical expenses, cost of special dietary needs because they need after illness like cholera and hepatitis, they need some special dietary supplements. Long-term health implications. In some cases, there are, suppose in case of botulism neurotoxin, that's a neurotoxin that can lead to the long-term health implications. Or funeral, in case of death, there are funeral expenses. Number second is impact on food establishments or food business पे कौन सा impact है? Loss of consumer demand. Because consumers lost their confidence on the food establishment. Financial losses due to expenses and recalls because they have to recall the contaminated product from the market. Or disposal of the contaminated product in case of severe contamination. They have to dispose the product and penalties and litigations because they have to pay the penalties. Loss of reputation of the company. Company की reputation तो उसी के साथ हो जाती है because of the number fourth is increase insurance premiums. उनके तो वो भी increase हो जाते हैं क्योंकि उनको उसमें भी amount loss होता है. Lowered employee morale, employee confidence is lowered. These are the impacts of foodborne outbreaks. Next, factors that can lead up to a foodborne illness. कौन सा factor है इसमें जिससे foodborne illness from farm to food? ठीक है. Introduction of contamination. Contamination में तो contaminants कैसे introduce? How they introduce with the food product? Number first is cross contamination. Cross contamination means if there is no segregation of cooked and uncooked food products. That can lead to the cross contamination. Or if there is parallel product flow chain. So in food establishment there shall be uniflow product chain from raw material to finished product. Uniflow in one direction only. Otherwise there are chances of the cross contamination. Number third is insufficient cooking or washing can also lead to the contamination in the food product. Use of non-potable water. If water is not potable, that means if water contains, what is the basic raw material for majority of the food products? Water contains contaminants, not only microbiological contaminants. If water contains chemical contaminants like pesticide residues, nitrates, or heavy metals, that can lead to the contamination of the food product. So, as per the Food Safety Standards Authority of India, water used in the product manufacturer in food business establishment shall be as per IS Indian standards 10500 standard. Water shall be used for manufacture or basic ingredient in the food processing practices. Sick food handlers can also lead to the contamination of the food product. For example, in case of cholera or hepatitis infection, sick persons can transfer or contaminate the food products. So, as per the Food Safety Act, in food establishments, the workers shall have health fitness certificate. That is mandatory document in case of food establishment. Contamination can occur at several points in the food chain. Farm or field. Farm means suppose in case of farming practices like milk, dairy farming or poultry farming or sheep farming. That can also lead to contamination. If they contain some any kind of contagious disease, that can lead to contamination of the final product. Or field में तो suppose pesticides are used, more sprays are used as against the permissible limits. That can also lead to the contamination of the product. At slaughter point, there are more chances of the contamination of the in case of meat or poultry products. During processing, if care is not taken during processing, there are more chances of the contamination of the product. During distribution, shipment from one place to another place, there are chances of the contamination. Or at the point of sale, retail or food service, retail outlet, if food is not kept under refrigerated, if frozen product is not kept under frozen condition, or refrigerated not product kept under refrigerated, that can lead to the contamination or proliferation of the microbes. Okay. Next is consumer at home. Suppose consumer है उसने घर में एक मिल्क का प्रोडक्ट को ओपन किया, उसके बाद उसको रेफ्रिजरेटेड कंडीशन में नहीं रखा फॉर 24 hours, that can lead to the contamination and that can cause foodborne illness. Next is proliferation of pathogens, time temperature abuse. If food products are kept in a danger zone of time and temperature, that is between 41 degree Fahrenheit to 140 degree Fahrenheit for more than 4 hours, that can lead to the proliferation of the microbes. The microbial count may increase beyond the permissible limit, and that can lead to the foodborne illness or outbreak. Inappropriate pH and water activity. Water activity has a main role in the proliferation of the microorganisms. Acidity has a so appropriate water activity are required to prevent foodborne illness, to prevent contamination, proliferation of the microbes. Inadequate heating of the food. Suppose food ko already heat kiya, already prepared food in the hotel, restaurant or any dhaba. If that is not reheated properly, more than 65 degrees centigrade, that can also lead to the proliferation of the increase in the microbial count. Survival of pathogens in the food. Because of due to under processing. Suppose we have to process the food product, milk, for 63 degrees centigrade, at 63 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes, or 71 degree or 72 degrees centigrade for 15 seconds. If under processing, we will process it for less than 63 degrees centigrade or less than 72 degrees centigrade. It can lead to the survival of the pathogens in the food product. Inappropriate intrinsic factors. उसमें भी वही है temperature abuse or water activity, pH, acidity, so many these that can also lead to the survival of the pathogens in the food product, contamination that can cause foodborne illness. Foodborne illness. Next step, foodborne illness outbreak investigation. What are the steps in investigation? Suppose after occurrence of the foodborne outbreak तो already हो गई. अब इसको कैसे हम control investigate करेंगे? Then how to control it? What are the control measures and what actions we will take to control the? It's a multidisciplinary task. That means it requires food safety authorities as well as health authorities, environmental health authorities. So it is a multidisciplinary task. उसमें तो objective क्या है? What are the objectives of foodborne illness outbreak investigation? Immediate control of the outbreak. to prevent further outbreak, to prevent ongoing outbreak, ठीक है, prevention of illness, controlling the outbreak में कौन कौन सा फैक्टर है, recalling unsafe food and ingredients, unsafe food प्रोडक्ट को हम रिकॉल करते हैं, मार्केट से वापस लाते हैं, जो मार्केट में हमने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए हैं उनको हम रिकॉल करते हैं, eliminating unsafe food practices, जो प्रैक्टिस सपोज किसी टाइम टेम्परेचर प्रोसेसिंग में जो भी प्रैक्टिस है उनको हम एलिमिनेट करें, उनको कंट्रोल हम करते हैं, so as to prevent the ongoing foodborne outbreak or future outbreak. Identify the food business, food or ingredient associated with the illness, illness के साथ कौन सा food product related है, किससे illness हुआ outbreak हुए. Identify the controlling factor and risk factor, controlling factor उसमें कौन कौन सा है, contributing factor कौन सा है, because of due to time, temperature, abuse, pH or any other process वो हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं. आइडेंटिफाई गैप्स इन फूड सेफ्टी सिस्टम, उसमें तो आइडेंटिफाई गैप हम करते हैं, प्रोसेसिंग में कोई गैप है, कोई लैक्यून ये है जिसकी वजह से फूड बॉर्न इलनेस होगी, जिसकी वजह से माइक्रोब्स और केमिकल कंटेमिनेंट एंटर इनटू द फूड प्रोडक्ट, सो एज टू वी कैन एनहांस द फूड सेफ्टी मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम इन द फूड बिजनेस एस्टैब्लिशमेंट or any food processing practice. We can improve the food safety management system, that means HACCP and other management, जो good manufacturing practices, good hygienic practices, we can improve that, or we can control the food body. Educate the food businesses, जो food business operators होते हैं उनको हम educate on appropriate management of food safety to prevent likelihood of occurrence, जो उनको हम trainings देते हैं, उनको prevent the likelihood of occurrence, so that future में outbreak दूसरी बार तो नहीं आना चाहिए. Collect information, guide further research, हम information collect करते हैं, guide further research, ठीक है. If it needs any kind of the further investigation to control the foodborne outbreak, so that we collect the information and share same with the researchers, ठीक है. Universities are the research institute, so that same can be controlled. Use the information collect to share policy and directives, उसमें हम क्या कहते हैं, we share the information with the government policy makers so that they can issue the directives of food establishments or food business operators, so to prevent the likelihood of reoccurrence of the foodborne illness. These are the objectives of the foodborne outbreak investigation. Major components of an outbreak investigation में main कौन सा epidemic stages में हम क्या investigate human cases suffering from the foodborne illness, जो human cases हैं जो suffer foodborne outbreak की वजह से उनको हम क्या कहते हैं, इन्वेस्टिगेट करते हैं. उसमें के इंटरव्यू इल केसेस, जो इल केसेस हम इंटरव्यू करते हैं, आपको कैसे व्हाट फूड यू हैव टू नेम ऑफ द टाइम, डेट ऑफ द इलनेस, इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड, फूड कब से जो है आपका फर्स्ट सिम्पटम अपेयर हुआ है, वो कोहॉर्ट स्टडी और केस कंट्रोल. उसमें तो हम उनको कोई हिस्ट्री मत है, किसी की हिस्ट्री मत है, दिस फूड आर सम पीपल बिकॉज़ सम पीपल आर एलर्जिक टू सम फूड, सो case control और cohort studies are also taken. लेबोरेटरी का रोल क्या है, लेफ्ट ओवर सस्पेक्टेड फूड सैंपल जो है उनको हम टेस्ट करवाते हैं. पेशेंट सैंपल जो उसमें टू टाइप्स ऑफ लेबोरेटरीज, वन इज द फूड एनालिसिस लेबोरेटरी, नंबर टू इज क्लिनिकल लेबोरेटरी, ठीक है. फूड एनालिसिस लेबोरेटरी इज यूज्ड फॉर इन केस ऑफ आउटब्रेक इन्वेस्टिगेशन. फूड एनालिसिस लेबोरेटरी यूज्ड टू एनालाइज द सस्पेक्टेड फूड सैंपल्स एंड क्लिनिकल लेबोरेटरीज आर यूज्ड टू पेशेंट सैंपल्स आर यूज्ड टू एनालाइज इट. क्लिनिकल लेबोरेटरी उसमें पेशेंट सैंपल्स में हम क्या क्या लेते हैं, उसमें वोमिटस लेते हैं, ठीक है. उसमें टू आइडेंटिफाई द ऑर्गन which cause the foodborne illness, or stool samples, reactive swabs are also taken for analysis. Environmental health samples, surface swabs are taken in the food premises because of due to some microbes may come from the environment. Samples from nail bed of the food handlers are also taken for analysis. Number third is environmental health. Role of environmental health is investigate determine the potential source or process. Process में कोई defect मत है, और potential source, for example, water may contain the pathogenic microbes, or water may contain chemical toxicants like nitrates or pesticides or any other heavy metals. Okay. Then foodborne disease outbreak investigation team. What are the major foodborne disease outbreak investigation team? उसमें कौन से as per the structure component in food safety emergency response. Members of the foodborne investigation team कौन से member इसमें name. First one is foodborne illness officers, then district surveillance officers and state surveillance officers. District and state surveillance officers activate the rapid response team. Rapid response team is the main team that investigates the foodborne illness at ground level. Rapid response team. They share the information with the project director, national project officer. and food safety officer is part of the rapid response team who investigates the foodborne illness at ground level. Their food safety officer shares same information with the designated officer or Commissioner Food Safety, and Commissioner Food Safety shares same information with National Emergency Contact Point. National Emergency Contact Point works at national level. Suppose in India, Food Safety Standards of India is the National Emergency Contact Point. They share, National Emergency Contact Point share same information with the InfoSan, International Food Safety Authorities Network. What are the members of Rapid Response Team? Rapid Response Team में कौन-कौन सा member होता है? उसमें district के epidemiologist जो उसमें तो investigate करते हैं foodborne disease or patients, those who suffer. Number 7 pathologists or clinicians. They are also the members of the Rapid Response Team. Pathologists for investigation of the microbes, pathogenic microbes, microbiologist, microbial analysis, entomologist, for example, vector-borne disease is a vector-borne. So entomologist is also the part of the rapid response team. Pediatrician, because 40% foodborne illness occur in the children less than 5 years age. So pediatrician is the member of the rapid response team. Public health nurse, data manager to collect information, data regarding the foodborne, and technician from the local bodies and food safety officers. If foodborne disease, then foodborne illness, foodborne safety officer is the member of the rapid response team. Functions and duties of rapid response team. उनकी functions और duties क्या-क्या है? Rapid response team की कौन-कौन सी duty और function है? Surveillance regarding the disease or foodborne outbreak, sampling in both food sample as the clinical samples are taken, product recalls, product is taken from the market, recalled from the market, trace backs, prohibition of the food product, implicated food product is prohibited, disposal of the contaminated material in case of the severe foodborne material, the contaminated material disposal, decontamination and disinfection in case suppose source of the is from food premise or some environmental equipment, so decontamination, disinfection necessary. It is the function of the rapid response to decontaminate, disinfect the surface or the food premises. Evidence gathering, quarantine of the, suppose in case of live birds or live animals, they are quarantined for some period. It is the function of the rapid response team. Security, public education, to share the information with the public, sample analysis, any other operational aspect of mitigating food emergency. These are the responsibilities or duties of the rapid response team, because rapid response team is the team which investigates the foodborne outbreak at ground level. They share the information with other district surveillance officer, state surveillance officer, designated food safety commissioners, and then with the FSI or Center for Disease Control. They investigate at ground level. What is the role of and responsibilities of food safety officer in foodborne illness outbreak investigation? Food safety officer की responsibility role क्या है इसमें investigation में? To coordinate with the rapid response team. He becomes the member of the rapid response team. Collection of data related to foodborne illness. Data collection regarding the number of persons ill or any other food involved in the foodborne illness or any other information that is collected by the food safety officer. Visited inspection of the affected site. Affected site or food safety establishment from which the contaminated food has been released. He collects the information. Collection of suspected food samples. He collects the suspected food samples and sent to the lab for the analysis. To take necessary measures for control of outbreak, consult state and central food authority. He takes necessary measures how to control the foodborne, ongoing foodborne outbreak after consultation with the state food authority and national food authority. Regular follow-up, whether that has been under control or not. Preparation of the report on the outbreak. He prepares report on the foodborne illness or outbreak. Channel of communication. How foodborne outbreak is communicated. What are the major steps in the foodborne outbreak communication? State food safety authorities, after receiving information regarding the foodborne outbreak through social media, electronic or print media, or public health, suppose PSC, primary health center, because after suffering foodborne illness, patient is supposed to visit to the primary health centers, and any other PDO, blood development officer, or Chief Medical Officer. They share the information with the food safety authorities. So after receiving the food borne illness information, they nominate FSO, Food Safety Officer, to work with the rapid response team. After that, the food safety officer collects preliminary information regarding clinical report, how this food borne has occurred. Suspected microbial infection cones, suspected microbial, whether it is bacterial or whether it is fungal or whether it is parasitic. Next is location of the food taken from. कहाँ से food मिल लिया from last 72 hours or last 40 hours, depends upon the whether the organism is known or not. Examine and investigate case in coordination with DSO, District Surveillance Officer and State Surveillance Officer, Rapid Response Team. Conduct site investigation of the food establishment. Identify potentially implicated food. This food say illness हुई. Take samples. Then he took samples of the same food product and sent to the lab for analysis. Determine whether implicated food product distributed to other regions, so they recall the food product or seize the food product at the respective places to prevent the ongoing foodborne outbreak. Then food safety officer shares the report within 48 hours to DO and rapid response team. DO send report to the food safety commissioners and food safety standards authority of India within 10 days or completion of whichever is earlier. This is the main channel of communication of the foodborne outbreak. Next. Then investigation of foodborne outbreak. What are the steps in investigation of foodborne outbreak? में कौन-कौन सा step है? Identify and interview the stakeholders. Main stakeholder उसके साथ कौन-कौन सा है? Like primary health centers, they are just because the person suffering from the food poisoning first visit to the primary health center or block, they are the main stakeholders to identify place कहाँ पे food poisoning हुई है, person, name of the person, age, sex of the person and other details of the person, time of the outbreak कब हुई है, exact time of the outbreak. After that, select a site for based on the preliminary. After receiving the preliminary information, he receives information from regard for patients and cases. Community, school, household, contact a patient or family members who may have consumed the same food item. A systematic case in the community because some people are resistant to some foodborne diseases. ठीक है, उनके साथ भी contact किस-किसने food लिया है at that time. How many people consumed the food and how many reported foodborne illness. Cook and food handlers के साथ भी he receives information of the cooks and food handlers, those who handle the food. Next, conduct inspection of the identified premises or place. जहाँ पे एक foodborne, whether it is the point source foodborne, because at any event or festival or any venue, that's a place or premises. Suppose the food has been consumed at some food establishment, restaurant or dhaba. So he conducting inspection of the after identification of the place food poisoning कहाँ पे हुई है. Then he conducting inspection. Inspection is conducted as per the inspection checklist of the food authority, like design and facilities. Whether design and facilities, proper design and facilities are available in the food premises or establishment where food is prepared. उसमें क्या क्या है, machinery, whether machineries are available, whether proper drainage system is available, that may lead to the foodborne illness. Control of the operation, whether proper time, temperature and other factors are controlled. Our operation is as per the food safety management system. Then maintenance and sanitation, whether proper maintenance and sanitation is, whether there is waste management system as per Environmental Protection Act 1986, whether other maintenance and sanitation procedures are in place or not. Personal hygiene, whether medical fitness certificate is available with the employees or personnel working in the plant or premises. Next is determining the suspected food. हमें कैसे पता चलेगा suspected food कौन सा? When two or more persons reported illness, if the cause organism is not known, अगर organism or cause of the illness is not known, food beverage male food samples are taken at least 72 hours prior to the onset of the illness. 72 hours before 72 hours, those persons who got ill, which food they have consumed, food samples of food beverage meals common to all persons who reported the illness are taken for at least 72 hours period to the onset of illness. In case of the organism is known, then food beverage meals common to all persons which were consumed during appropriate incubation period, that is from the time of consumption of food to the appearance of first symptoms is taken. But in case of not known, unknown causative organism, then at least 72 hours period to the onset of illness, samples are taken. Food samples for collection. Ingredients used to prepare the implicated, जो suspected food है उसमें कौन-कौन सा ingredient use हो गए उनको separately हमें उनका suppose if it is a shawarma, both chicken samples as the spices and other materials used in the formulation of the product. All samples of all raw materials are taken for analysis. Or leftover food samples from the suspected meal. जो suspected meal है, implicated food है, उसकी जो leftover जो वहाँ पे बचा हुआ food है, उसकी हम samples लेते हैं. Food is known to be associated with the pathogen in question. जो food, because some foods are more acidic, some foods are low acidic. There are chances of growth of some microbes. For example, it is pickle. There are more chances of growth of the molds instead of bacteria. If the food contains alkaline in nature, there are more chances of growth of bacteria. So factors known to be associated with the pathogen in question. ठीक है? हमें उससे भी पता चले किसकी वजह से आउटब्रेक हुई है, तो अकॉर्डिंग हमें कौन सा सैंपल हमें किस फूड का लेना है. नेक्स्ट इज फूड्स इन एन एनवायरनमेंट दैट मे हैव परमिटेड द सर्वाइवल और ग्रोथ ऑफ माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म. हमें एनवायरमेंटल जो सैंपल्स हो उसकी भी सैंपल. नेक्स्ट क्लिनिकल सैंपल्स फॉर कलेक्शन. हमें क्लिनिकल सैंपल्स जो इल पर्सन है उनके भी सैंपल्स लेने. उसमें क्लिनिकल सैंपल में पेशेंट सैंपल्स वो भी टेस्ट हमें लेना है. ठीक है. Stool samples are rectal swabs for identification of the pathogenic microorganism. Environmental samples, surface swabs. ठीक है, जहाँ पे फूड प्रिपेयर किया है वहाँ पे जो environmental sample है वो भी हम लेते हैं for testing of the pathogenic microorganisms or any other toxicant. Then samples from nail bed of the food handlers, because food handler in case of some disease like hepatitis A or cholera, उसमें तो क्या contamination occurs because of the sick persons are employed working in the food establishment. So samples of the nail bed of the food handlers are also taken for the analysis purpose. Then transportation courier of collected samples as per standard operating procedure. जो food samples हैं उनको हमें analysis के लिए within 24 hours and at appropriate temperature. For example, in case of frozen food samples, they are kept under frozen condition during shipment from the site of location to the lab. ठीक है. Or in case of shelf stable samples, they are taken under normal conditions. Then testing of samples. Samples are tested as per the standard procedures and as per the suspected microorganism. For example, in case of we suspect is that the infection is because of the microbial organism. So samples are analyzed for the microbiological parameter. If it is suspected that is because of the chemical toxicant like pesticides, so samples are analyzed for pesticides. Next, emergency response phase. What are the emergency response phase in case of foodborne outbreak? Alert phase. After receiving the report from the food laboratory or clinical laboratory, interpretation of the laboratory report. हमें जो laboratory report उसको interpret ठीक से करना है. Whether laboratory report is positive or negative. In case of positive laboratory result, it confirms that the foodborne out because of due to a positive item, which we suspect. Or negative laboratory result, but negative laboratory result does not mean that it is not food poison, because we have to take the sample after the food has been destroyed, after the contamination has been eliminated from the source. Okay. Next, notification. Outcome of the analysis report is notified to state food authorities. जो report आया है, whether positive or negative, the report is shared with the state food authorities and they share same with the central food authorities like FSI. FSI shares the same with the InfoSan, International Food Safety Authorities Network. ठीक है, so that they can collect the information regarding the foodborne outbreak and they will issue necessary measures or controls for prevention of the ongoing foodborne outbreak. State food authority in consultation with FSI notify consumers extent of risk. Risk extent क्या है? Measures taken by authority ने कौन-कौन सा measure to लिया कि prevent the foodborne outbreak. Measures to be taken by the consumers. Consumers कौन-कौन सा measure लेना है? Precautionary measure to prevent the foodborne illness. For example, in case of some kind of the pathogenic microorganism like salmonella, there is no further chance of the spreading of the outbreak. But in case of some contagious disease like hepatitis A or cholera, there are more chances of the communication of disease to spreading of transfer of the disease to different areas. So they issue preventive measures, and what preventive measures the consumers have to prevent the further spread of the outbreak. Then action or control phase. In case of positive results or action phase or first control phase क्या है? Remove implicated food from the market. The implicated food which caused the foodborne outbreak is recalled back from the market. If the food is distributed to different places or different states, the food is kept under seizure. Notice is issued to all food safety commissioners of the different states so that they can keep the food under seizure. ठीक है? और time being modify food production or preparation practice. जो food production or preparation practice को हम modify करते हैं because of in case of the contamination is because of the food production practice or food preparation practice. So they are modified. They are the practice are eliminated from the establishment so that to prevent the likelihood of reoccurrence of the foodborne outbreak. Closing food premises or prohibiting the sale or use of the implicated food. जो food premises को हर टाइम के लिए रखते हैं close क्योंकि उसमें जो food already जो suspected food है so that they cannot prepare till they will improve the system or improve the main जो उनके in place practice in the food establishment. For time those so they are to be kept under closure. Clean and sanitize the premises. जो premises हैं food premises हैं उनको हम clean and sanitizing procedures देते हैं. How to clean, how to sanitize, to control or to prevent the further occurrence of the foodborne outbreak. Enhance food safety management practices. The food safety management practice which includes good manufacturing practices, good hygienic practices, HACCP, hazard and incident critical control point. They are to be enhanced. That means control of this practice are to be enhanced. Ensure ill food handlers are excluded from the handling. Suppose in case of some diseases, food handlers are the source of the contamination. It is to be checked or monitored whether they have eliminated such persons from or such sick persons from the food manufacturing practice or not. Prevent the import of any such food. If foodborne illness is because of any imported food product, that is imported from the other countries, the food product is controlled. The distribution of the food product is controlled. That food is kept under seizure at imports, or ports while food is checked. Then stand down phase. Withdrawal of the ban and advices after situation seems to be under control. After the same foodborne illness is under control, that means it is noticed after regular monitoring that the foodborne illness is controlled. Then ban of the food product. After it is observed that they have changed the food handling practice or any other causative agent has been eliminated, then the withdrawal of the ban and advice there is after the situation seems to be under control. When the whole situation is under control, then the same is to be withdrawal. Next, report of the incident. What is the format of the report of the date and time of investigation? Investigation हम देखा कि time of the investigation, name and address of premises or place address, name where foodborne illness occurs, source of information कैसे whether print or electronic media or any or public health primary health centers or block medical officer or chief medical, वो हमें उसमें मेंशन करना है. उसकी डिस्क्रिप्शन हम टाइप ऑफ ओकेजन और गैदरिंग वेदर इट वाज अ रिलीजियस वेदर इट वाज मिड डे मील रेस्टोरेंट होटल ढाबा और एनी अदर वो हमें स्पेस पर इसमें करना है. रिपोर्ट में तो हमें सारा इफ द फूड प्रिपेयर्ड एट द प्लेस ऑफ इंसिडेंट प्रोवाइड डिटेल्स ऑफ द कैटरर और फूड सर्विस एस्टेब्लिशमेंट इंक्लूडिंग जो फूड सर्विस जहां पे फूड प्रिपेयर किए उसकी हमें पूरी डिटेल्स हमें उसमें रिपोर्ट में मेंशन करनी है. इफ द फूड सप्लाइड फ्रॉम सम अदर प्लेस और प्रोवाइड इफ द इट्स अ रीजनल आउटब्रेक और कम्युनिटी वाइड आउटब्रेक जहां से फूड वहां पे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हुआ उसकी हमें पूरी डिटेल उसमें वी हैव टू मेंशन फॉर डिटेल. पॉसिबल सोर्स ऑफ इंसिडेंट्स में कौन सी कॉज वेदर इट इज foodborne infection, whether it's food intoxication or whether it's toxico infection, वो हमें इसमें number of persons consumed food, how many persons consumed the suspect food or implicated food, number of deaths, symptoms notes with the affected person. जो affected persons who have been affected the foodborne illness उनके कौन-कौन से symptoms हैं, diarrhea, vomiting or any other symptom, वो तो हमें उसमें description में हमें वो सारा उसमें रिपोर्ट करना है. Kind of samples collected by जो rapid response team है उनने कौन-कौन से samples collect किए हैं Outcome of the laboratory test report. Laboratory test report, whether it is a positive report or negative report, we have to mention same in the report. Detail of rapid response team. जो rapid response team है उनकी name, designation, specialty, name of the member, जो भी जितने members में rapid उनका name, designation क्या है, specialties, whether it is pediatrician, whether it is microbiologist, हर एक की details हम उसमें तो mention कर रहे हैं. Brief detail of food samples collected by the FSO. Food safety officer ने कौन-कौन सा sample वहाँ पे suspected place पे जो implicated place है वहाँ पे collect किया है, both ingredient as well as the finished product जो भी उसने sample वहाँ से ली उसकी हमें तो information में report. Gaps was good in inspection carried under Schedule 4. As per the Schedule 4 of the Food Safety and Standards Regulation rules, Food Safety and Standards rules में जो Schedule 4 है as per that हमें उसमें वहाँ पे कौन-कौन सी जो पूरा establishment है जहाँ पे food borne outbreak हुए हैं वो उसमें कौन-कौन सी gap पाएगी वो तो उसमें हमें report में mention करनी है. Design and control, maintenance of the equipment, ठीक है, personal hygiene और any other वो हमें पूरी जो report है उसमें तो description हमें उसकी देनी है. Measures adopted to prevent the incident. कौन-कौन सा measure उन्होंने लिया है to prevent the ongoing or further occurrence or likelihood of the foodborne illness. Whether FIR lodged against the food business operator from where the food has been prepared or not. Next, outbreak communication. How to communicate the outbreak? Communication to the general public. This is the general public. We have to issue advisories through print and electronic media and through we have to use helpline numbers for stopping the foodborne illness. How to control, how to communicate with the general public. For that, we have to issue advisories and some to communicate the foodborne illness with the general public. Communication with media because media is the major interface between health authorities, food authorities, and the general public. So we have to communicate the foodborne outbreak or foodborne illness with the media authorities so that they can say communicate with the general public. Communication with authorities and other professional groups. Say the foodborne illness outbreak is communicated with the authorities and other professional groups so that they can issue advisories and directives to the food establishment so that they can frame policies for likelihood occurrence of the outbreak to prevent the likelihood occurrence of the outbreak. ठीक है. Next, post-outbreak monitoring. Post-outbreak monitoring में क्या है? Monitoring the population at risk for signs and symptoms. कुछ disease ऐसे हैं जिसमें कुछ population like children are more vulnerable to diarrheal disease and so many like E. coli infections. ठीक है. उसमें तो हमें देखना है कि population, monitor the population at risk for signs and symptoms to ensure the outbreak has ended. उनको हमें monitor करना है. जो more vulnerable है उस risk factor के लिए, उस illness के लिए उनको हमें monitor करना है whether the source has been eliminated in the population or not. Monitoring the implicated food or facility make sure that no further contamination is occurring. हमें जो implicated food और facilities जो है वहाँ पे available उनको हमें monitor करना है whether it has been eliminated or not. Increasing the number of routine inspections तो हमें जो हम routine inspections करते हैं हमें उसमें enhancement करनी है क्योंकि we have to check whether the premises of food establishments are working as per the standard operating as per the Schedule 4 food safety standards rules. ठीक है. Post outbreak review. Post outbreak review are taken by district and state level advisory committees. उसमें वो क्या कहते हैं identify long term structural control measure क्या है उसको prevent करने के लिए. ठीक है. Next, assess whether further scientific studies are needed to control the occurrence of the outbreaks. Then clarify resource needs. उसमें कौन कुछ यदि further resource need, structural change मत हमें कोई लाइन है. Training, if there is need of the training, the food personnel is working in the food establishment. Identify factors that compromise during the previous investigation में कौन सा factor है जिसपे compromise which has been compromised by rapid response team. Identify necessary changes to current investigation. Current investigation में हमें कौन सी modification लानी है so that we can in the next time we can identify the foodborne illness quickly and we can control the ongoing investigation rapidly. These are the recent foodborne illness outbreaks in India. Shahila infected shawarma leads to fatality in India 2022 in Kerala. ठीक है. 2 dead or 16 ill after suspected food poisoning from traditional feast in Odisha. over 95 children, उसमें ये तो मध्य प्रदेश में, Tamil Nadu recently, September 2023, Tamil Nadu girl gets food poisoning after eating chicken shawarma dies. These are recent foodborne illness outbreaks in India. Multi-state foodborne outbreaks. Multi-state means food is distributed, food supplied to different states or different regions in the country or different countries. These are the multi-state foodborne outbreak notes. Peach and plums illnesses, 11 hospitalized deaths. It was caused because of due to Listeria monocytogenes. These are the recent illnesses. Fresh diced onions में तो उसमें क्या illness थे 73 hospitalizations 15 और उसमें death कोई नहीं है. Ice cream उसमें 2 illness hospitalizations 2. इस तरह ground beef, rock potato, flour, frozen strawberries, leafy greens उसमें because of due to Listeria monocytogenes. ठीक है? Thank you. Any question? Any question regarding foodborne outbreak investigation or food poisoning?